Right, hello everyone, and welcome to the first race of Division 3 for online Formula Racing. This is the first race of the season, and we're racing in Australia this Thursday night, and we have 11 drivers with us, and this will hopefully increase over the next few weeks too when more drivers become available. So this is our new third division. It's the first race of the new division. And it's basically a chance for Division 1 and Division 2 drivers to race together, push each other, and also for our casual drivers who can't make the main event on Saturday, for them to come along and race too. So as you can see, we have Clam here. We also have a new driver, which is Timberwolf, who will be joining us for Division 2 as well. So this is also kind of like a test for them to see how quick they are and whether or not they'll be placed in Division 1 or 2. So hopefully it's going to be a super interesting race today. We do have the same race for Divisions 1 and 2 on Saturday as well, so this can also be seen as a practice race. So we've got some drivers on their outlap right now. We're riding on board with Clam right now. Haven't seen him race before with it in our league, whether it was OFR or F1IR, but we're about to see something now. So let's jump right in and see how he does. So I've just got notification from Max that it is going to be a dry quali and a dry race, so that's going to be good. So he's just going to start his lap now as we see a driver move out of the way. Santi's already out, not sure what happened there, but we're going to ride on board with Clam now and see how he does on his first hot lap. He's riding on the soft tyres in the multiplayer car. He's already up to 6th gear as he comes around the final corner, which is corner 16. DRS wide open and he is approaching. When you are coming up to the first corner, you want to brake just at about 75 metres, take as much of the inside at 1 and push your car wide, as you can see there, as he's going through turn 2. Now he's got his DRS wide open again, going all the way down to turn 3. You want to brake at about 75 meters again, turn in nice and early and get on the throttle as early as you can as well. Slight lift as you're going through turn 4 there, and you want to be absolutely flat out as you go through turn 6, and he does. He goes a little bit wide, but he manages to keep it on track, which is nice as he approaches turn 6. Really fast right-hander, very tight right-hander as well, but you can do that extremely fast. Work your way up, all the way up to 7th gear. Will he switch to 8th? I don't think he will. He's going to brake into turn 9 at about 50 meters as well. Doesn't take as much inside curve as I thought he would, but he is already away, so he's looking fast already as AJ pops in a 1:21.2. That is currently the time to beat. So here he comes to this fast left and right hander at turn 11, takes a very, very nice line, doesn't suffer from any oversteer or understeer, and now he is marching all the way down to turn 13. DRS again wide open, heavy on the brakes, car lunging forward. You saw a little bit of a lock up there and the glowing brake discs as he comes through turn 13 now. 14, I beg your pardon, and he approaches the penultimate corner, which is 15, and he now locks up a slight bit as well as he comes through 16, just eases off the throttle as you can see there. 5th gear, ERS set to overtake, DRS wide open. How will he cross the line? It's going to be a 1:22.6, and that puts him in 2nd place. We're going to jump down to Max, who is got a very strange livery there. It looks like the Haas, actually. Max is currently, he's just gone through turn 7. He's approaching turn 9 now. He is got his ERS set to hot lap, so it looks like he is on a hot lap right now. There he goes, flying through as he approaches turn 11 and ends sector 2. Doesn't take as much inside curve as he would expect, but he's still very tidy through there. That's a very tricky set of corners to get right, but these drivers know how to do it. They are professional drivers here. They have been training on this all week, and there don't seem to be any faults right now. So Max is just coming up to turn 15 now, drops it down to 2nd gear, rides it through. You can see how early Max gets on the throttle. That's one of his biggest advantages. I was racing with him a few days ago, and I noticed that even when he was behind me, following me very closely, he was actually getting on the throttle so much earlier than I was, and that is one of the many skills that Max has. But Max pops in a 1:23. Let's just switch the fastest tyre to see what they've done. Max has done that on the medium, so here's like the Lewis Hamilton in terms of he likes to go on the harder compound and use them for as long as they can last, massaging the tyres, keeping them in temperatures to extend the first stint. And that's what he likes to do, and that's probably something you might see today. We're just going to jump down the field slightly to see if anyone else is currently on track. We've got Leica on track, who's on his outlap, and he is starting as well. So I'll tell you what, we'll ride on board with Leica. And see how he does. So again, brakes at about 75, takes a nice amount of inside curb at 1, pushes the car to the right at turn 2. Don't want to touch that curb because it can make you lose a bit of traction, and he is away, positioning his car at an angle as he approaches turn 3. Brakes at about 75 meters again. He's not that aggressive as he goes through turn 3. I thought he would be a bit more. But here he comes. He's got his ERS set to overtake. Will he go flat out? Yes, he will. He takes a nice amount of outside curb at 5, sorry, and approaches turn 6. Brakes at about 60 meters. Early on the throttle as well. He was a little bit hesitant in 4th gear there, so he might have been feeling the rear losing a bit of grip, but he managed to recover. Brakes at about 65 meters, takes the necessary amount of inside curb at turn 9 and 10, and away he goes, ending his sector 2. Let's look at his time. Well, it's a 49.5. That's an absolutely fantastic time, but I wonder where that stands with the rest of the drivers. He gets a huge stop of oversteer and loses the wing. That is the danger zone in this track. Turns 11 and 12. You need to be careful as we see Leica, unfortunately, DNF from the race. So we're going to jump down to see how Lex is doing. He's got his ERS set to 0, so I'm not sure if he's on another outlap right now. I think he is on an outlap. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1 and 3. That's Leica is still on, got his car stopped, and he has been removed now. So there you go, car has been removed from the track. But it looks like Lex is on a warm-up lap right now. Let's see if we can see how much fuel he has. It looks like he has 1.3 laps of fuel left, so he should be getting ready to start his lap now. Let's see what he does. He hasn't set a time yet. Only the top 4 have set a time currently. You can see him warming up his tyres there. Let's see if he flicks the ERS up. No, he's coming into the pit, so he hasn't set a time. Maybe he was just going out there to test the track temperature. But a lot of drivers are in the pits right now, so we're just going to quickly jump to Matt. Oh, Matt's is in the pits, beg your pardon. Is Timberwolf out? Timberwolf is out on track, and he has his ERS set to hot lap, and he has got quite a bit of fuel there. Ooh! Almost catches the wall there, manages to keep it as he locks up and goes very, very wide into turn 6. So if that was a hot lap, that has now been destroyed, and he will probably have to come back in, because I imagine those tyres are overheating. You can see his front left is over 100 degrees. It's dropped down to 90 something now, but he is struggling a bit without the ABS. He did pop in around a 126, I think, in the practice session before this, so that's also going to be one to look out for. But Jens, beg your pardon, has put in a 133 on the soft, so I think he must have had a bit of a problem as well, because that's not the time that he should be doing. I think he will be around a low 123 or even a 122. But right now we've got Lika and Santi out of qualifying. And we have AJ on an outlap, so we'll stick with Timberwolf for now, and let's see if he's preparing for another lap, or if he's. I doubt he is, because he's used up all of his ERS, so that won't be enough to use to get a competitive lap. But he is coming into the pits, yes. So right now we'll switch to AJ, and we'll see how he's doing. You kind of have to boomerang the car as you bring it through 11 and 12. Like I was teaching us that you have to do something similar in Spain turns 1, 2 and 3. You have to kind of let the car swing itself around, let the rear drive the car without it overheating or overturning. But Max has retired from the session, so I think he is going to be happy with his 123 on the mediums, and he's going to do a long first stint, and it's only going to be 25% race, so he will probably just do the one stop, mediums then softs, and be very competitive towards the end. But now we are riding on board with AJ as he starts his next hot lap. He's already got a 121.2. Can he beat it? Brakes at about 60 meters there. That was very late, but somehow he's managed to keep it on. Takes a tiny kiss of that outside curb at turn 2. DRS wide open. ERS set to overtake, and he's already on his way into turn 3. Brakes at about 65 meters there. Turns in nice and early. Little lift and stays in 4th gear, so we usually see drivers do that in 3rd. But here he comes in 6th, absolutely flat out through turn 5. He's got a car in front of him. Let's hope it doesn't restrict his downforce in any way. Takes a nice chunk of inside curb at 6. Kisses the curb on the outside of 7. Here he comes through 8. GNL's moving out the way. Brakes at about 65 meters. Turns in nice and early to turn 9. Pushes the car wide out at 10. And he is again full throttle, approaching the tricky danger zone at 10 and 11. He drops it down to 6. Almost stays flat out. Tiny lift as he was going through 12. but he's still on pace right now. He was up in his sector 2, I believe. Nice and early on the throttle again. Oh, he got a little bit of oversteer, lost a little bit of traction as he touched that curb. You need to be careful there as well. Let's see if he can improve on his time though. Again, absolutely perfect racing line through 15 and 16 there. Takes as much as the curve as he can. DRS wide open, ERS set to overtake, and he crosses the line with a 1:27. 4/10 up on his 5/10 up on his previous time. What a fantastic lap. So we're now going to jump down to Matt, because Matt is a D1 driver, and in the preseason test last weekend he won the race. So he is starting his lap now. He's in a bright blue livery. Probably took a bit more. No, he's invalidated his lap. He has invalidated his lap. You can see that because the track map has turned entirely red, which means that this one will not be counted. So he's turned his ERS off, as you can see, and he's probably just going to keep these tyres up to temperature with low degradation, bring it around for another lap, and start again. So you can see how easy it is to make a mistake here. This is a street circuit, and there are areas where there is quite a bit of runoff for you to recover, but you can see right now, for example, you're basically in a tunnel, and if you make a mistake here, you're going to lose a wheel. We saw Leica lose a wheel because of how close the wall is to the track outside of turn 12. It's very, very tricky to get, well, it's very easy to get this wrong, and very easy to lose a wheel, and therefore very tricky at times to keep this car in the right place. But we're still just going to ride on board with Mats for now. Let's switch to the broadcast. I really want to see what his car looks like. That's a really nice livery there. It looks kind of like a reverse McLaren. Anyway, here he comes through turn 14. You can see he has got 100% of his ERS to use. He's going to turn that up any second now. No, he's coming into the pits. Wow, how much time is there? 5 minutes. He's probably going in for a change of tyres, and he's going to come back out immediately. So, yet to set a time is Lex, Mats, and Timberwolf. Timberwolf is currently out on the track. It looks like he might be on a hot lap as well, because he's used up nearly all of his ERS. He's just approaching turn 15 right now. Little lock up on the front left. Can he keep it in? Yes, he can. Moves it to the left to boomerang his car around the final turn 16. Didn't take use as much of the track as he should have. He got his DRS wide open though. Let's see what he finishes with. He has gone into 7th place right now with a 1:29. So that is 9 seconds, well, 8 and a bit seconds off the fastest lap right now. But it wouldn't surprise me if he's going to come into the pits and do another one, because I think he knows he can go a little bit faster than that as well. So now it's just Lex and Mats to set a time, as we see Clam coming out on an outlap again. So maybe he's going to try and challenge AJ, but can anyone break the 1:22 barrier right now apart from AJ? I don't know, as Clam gets a little bit messy, as Timberwolf, beg your pardon, gets a little bit messy there. Right, we're going to jump to Clam, who is on his outlap. Looks like he's just going through turn 13 there. You can see he's got his ERS set to low. Jan has joined. Great. We have Jan with us. So hopefully he can get inside a car as quick as possible and get out on track. He did forget to do the update for the patch 121. So hopefully he'll be able to qualify. So here we go. It's Clam is starting his lap now. And he is away. So drops it down to 4th. Gets a little bit messy. You can see he touched the grass a little bit there as he went through turn 1. He's nice out of turn 2. He's moved his car a bit too early to the left-hand side, I think. You just want to create a perfect angle to reduce the track distance if you do that. But he looks like he is on for a good lap so far. Let's see what his time is as he finishes sector 1. It's just going to be, so he's just gone through the really fast turn 5 there, and his sector 1 is going to finish now. He's already 1/10 up on his time, so he's not got the pace to beat AJ right now, as we see him go very, very wide and take to the outside of the track at turn 6. So I think he's going to have to give up on the track. He is still going though. His ERS is still set to overtake. He's dropped it down to high. Is he going to give up on this lap and go again? If he does, he needs to drop his ERS down, but it looks like he is still going fast. Let's see what his sector 2 time is, because he must be about 1.5 seconds down now. He's 3 seconds down, so maybe he is preparing for another lap. Let's wait and see. Ooh, gets very messy out of 12 there, but manages to recover. Again, you can see from this helicopter cam how narrow the track is and how little room for error there is in sector 3. But we've got Vilsec on an outlap, so we're going to jump to Vilsec and see where he is. He's just gone through turn 6. We'll stick with him for a while and just see how he gets on preparing his car. You can see he's trying to warm those tyres up. You want to get them in around the 95-degree area, at least for the internal part of the wheel. He's currently on about 100 on the left and about 90, low 90, high 80s on the right. But this is a good opportunity. So this little bit of a straight here is a good opportunity to put some temperature into these tyres. Because when you're on a warm-up lap, you don't get as much load into the tyres when you're going through the corners, which does allow them to cool down a bit, but you do want to keep them around 90 degrees to keep them perfect for gripping when you're going through these fast corners. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. We're about to come across it now. Hopefully this won't ruin Vilsek's lap, but who's come off the track? It is Timberwolf. Oh, really over-revving the car Vilsek is right now, and he is starting his hot lap now. So, here we go. Let's see how he brakes at turn 1, probably about 80 metres there. Oh, he's gone very snappy and he's going to lose it. Can he correct it? He can correct it, but he's going to have to go around again. He's not going to have the time to go round, actually, because, oh, he might do. He might have enough time, but he is going to have to get a move on. If we're looking at about a 120 lap, there's only 1 minute and 5 seconds to go, so he needs to get a move on if he's going to put in a lap. He needs to lower that ERS as well to make sure he has enough for his final lap. But he's also going to have to go really fast to make it, and that is going to result in quite high deg on his tyres, which he doesn't want. So this is a tricky position he's put himself in. So while he's preparing, we're just going to jump down the field to Lex and see how he's getting on, who is currently on a hot lap. Has a little lift as he goes through turn 5 there. Let's see if he's braking at the right point for turn 6. He's still braking a little bit early, not taking as much inside curve as he should. But Lex, for the first time, well, for the first league time, he is racing with 0 assists. So what an accomplishment there. He's gone very, very wide into turn 9, manages to correct it okay into turn 10, but he is still struggling a bit with his corner entry and his corner exit in terms of car positioning, but let's see if he can keep it here. No, he's lost it, he's going to lose a wheel. He has lost his front left wheel, and Lex has unfortunately retired from the session. Very unfortunate there. We're going to jump back up to Vilsek to see if he managed to make it in time. Did he make it? No, he didn't. As you can see there, he has got the checkered flag. And we see Clam running out of fuel as well. So right now, AJ has done a whopping lap 120, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to challenge. Mats is the only person that could, and Mats has come off as well. Where is that? He's come off at turn 9 and 10. That's an odd place to come off the track. Oh, it's a shame we missed that, but I really wonder what happened there. He's lost a lot of his winglets and his end plate on the left side, so it looks like he was struggling a bit too. So we've got 3 drivers with the checkered flag so far. We're just going to jump up to Rubs because Rubs is on a hot lap right now. He's just gone through turn 13, I believe. Yes, approaching 14. Stays in 6th gear around there, goes very, very wide. Drops it down to 3rd. He's going into 2nd as he comes through turn 15, switches it to the left side of the track and flings it round turn 16. DRS wide open. Let's see if he can improve on his time. It was a 1:22.8. He's not going to, unfortunately. He had a very messy lap. That was a 1:23.8, 1 second up on his fastest lap. And that's it. So it's just Mats right now, but Mats has come into the pits, and that is quali over. So very, very interesting. We have 2 D2 drivers finishing above 3 D1 drivers. How interesting. But a fantastic lap from AJ there with a 1:27. Just to remind you, this is Division 3. This is the first race of Division 3, our in-week league that takes place on Thursdays at 7 PM UTC. This is basically a league where our Division 1, the fastest drivers, and Division 2, the development drivers, get to mingle together, push each other on track, give each other advice on how they're racing for the main event, which is on Saturday. But casual drivers who also aren't in Divisions 1 and 2 are allowed to race here as well, and some of them are on track today. So it's really an all-inclusive league. Welcome to anyone. If anyone's looking to figure out what this league is like, come and join us for Division 3 and we'll let you know what we're about.